We are live from KAFTAN TV studios in Abuja. This is a phone-in political program by a panel of media personalities that focuses on unfolding political events across Nigeria and other parts of the world. Welcome to Matters Arising. Thank you for finding time to tune in as we encourage you to join the conversation by calling the number on your screen. My name is Maucauley Hunohashi. Please meet the others.
My name is Elizabeth Sam-Sedi. Good evening and welcome.
Okechukwu here. Good to have you on the program today.
Well, Elizabeth and Okechukwu, yesterday being Sunday is a day, from a time immemorial set aside for Christians to worship their God. It coincided with the celebration of the Muslim Salah holidays, which is El Dada. And coincidentally again, it coincided with Father's Day, which is celebrated across the globe, and social media, from what I observed yesterday, was awash with activities, congratulatory messages. I was at home, I was watching TV, I was reading my book, a book that I was enjoying, and there was torrential rainfall. I couldn't even go to church. But one thing that stood out was that yesterday was so unique. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yesterday was a beautiful day, actually. There are a lot of activities in town outside the social media. Went to church as always on Sundays. Then it was Salah. Happy Salah once again to our viewers out there. The celebration is still on because the public holiday is up to tomorrow. All right, and also happy Father's Day to all the beautiful, loving fathers out there. One thing that caught my fancy, or rather, as far as Father's Day was concerned yesterday, was the fact that fathers were really very happy. I don't know about you too. I hope you were.
Yes, of course, we were. We celebrated.
They said that usually in the past, people don't really celebrate them as much as they expect. They believe that Mother's Day, they celebrate mothers like up to 9 times in a year, and they are just celebrated once. And yesterday they were very excited the way they were celebrated. So I say kudos, and once again congratulations to all the fathers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You are giving it to us. We receive it. We are grateful.
We receive it.
Right. I must say that well, yesterday was beautiful. Concerning what you just said, before I continue saying the rest, I must say that I also found out that there are now more songs for the fathers. Before now you wouldn't hear any song for the fathers. It was just mother, beginning from sweet mother.
Why are you jealous of mothers? Why are you jealous?
Relax, let me land. Beginning from sweet mother, I no go forget you, and all that. And for this suffer where you suffer, for me, as though the men didn't suffer anyway. It's okay. I like it that it's what has been happening.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is that this time, I heard about 4 or 5 different songs composed by other people for fathers.
For fathers.
For the first time, I'm hearing it like this. So that's what made me happy. Everybody likes being praised anyway.
Appreciated.
So yes, being appreciated. That's what made me happy. Apart from that, Maucauley, I went to church, and what I also got from the church was beautiful, because the major message was that what has to do with the fathers. I talk about blessing of the fathers, So it was a kind of rejuvenation for me.
Right.
And had received messages from so many people.
Well, on this program, we always try to avail our viewers with stories that are making rounds on the media. First up, we avail to you stories that headline most of the country's news media, as Sifon Umo takes us through the news roundup. Please take a listen.
This is the news roundup. The presidency has reacted to a report published in the New York Times criticizing the Nigerian economy. The feature story, titled "Nigeria Confronts Its Worst Economic Crisis in a Generation," was published on June 11, 2024. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who responded to the report on Sunday, emphasized that President Tinubu did not create the economic problems Nigeria faces today, but inherited a dead economy. He stated that the policy direction taken by the government in May and June 2023, including the removal of the fuel subsidy regime and the unification of the multiple exchange rates, was meant to tackle the problems once and for all. The Nigerian Air Force has neutralized over 100 bandits during a nighttime operation in Kukashida Camp, Faskari local government area, Katsina State. Ibrahim Kaula Mohammed, spokesperson to Governor Diko Rada of Katsina State, disclosed this in a statement. He said the operation targeted a criminal group affiliated to notorious terrorist kingpin Yusuf Yalo and his close associate Rabe Imani. Mohammed revealed that this was the third successful air raid in the Faskari-Kankara axis in recent times, carried out to curb bandit activities in the area. The Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, has said that drug barons are increasingly recruiting customs officers and officials of bonded terminals into their drug trafficking operations to evade security checks. Adeniyi spoke during the showcasing of a major drug seizure at the Tin Can Island worth about 4.2 billion naira. He emphasized that while the Customs Service has made significant progress in identifying corrupt personnel within the system, those involved would face severe legal consequences. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has called for an urgent and improved access to clean water and sanitation in many areas following the cholera outbreak in the country. The chief of UNICEF Lagos Field Office, Celine Lafoukare, made the call while responding to the outbreak of the deadly disease in several states across Nigeria. While advocating for a collective approach to combating the disease, she also advised communities to establish systems that promote hygienic practices and transform them into a cultural norm. That is all on the News Roundup. I am Sifon Omo.
You're welcome back. This is Matters Arising, and we begin the conversation by reminding our viewers it's no longer news that the minimum wage debacle has continued to linger, as all parties are yet to agree on a new minimum wage template. While organized labor and trade union Congress are insisting on 250,000 naira, the federal government has offered 62,000 naira. This is no longer news. In his broadcast to the nation to commemorate Democracy Day last week, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did promise to present a minimum wage template that he said would be acceptable to all parties. He said very soon Nigerians are waiting to see how soon will be Mr. President's very, very soon. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that the President will not joke with it. He means business, because they have felt the pulse of Nigerians. They have tested the economic consequence of downing tools by organized labor, TUC, and other allied groups.
Yeah.
He did promise that very, very soon. I believe it's going to be. I am optimistic that he will not like to tinker with this idea. So between now and Friday, I'm crossing my fingers to see that, something good comes out of Mr. President, as he promised to present it to the National Assembly for approval.
Yeah. We all have our fingers crossed, and anxiously waiting and hoping that all of this saga going back and forth, will come to an end, and a final solution will come up. And though the government are saying to Labour that they should consider the fact that it's not just the workers that are Nigerians. There are those that are the aged, there are those that are in the private sector that are not government workers, and all that the workers are not up to 10% of the entire Nigeria, that they cannot give all the...
There are 5.3% workers in the formal sector.
Yes.
5.3%.
So that it's not just them, it's not just the workers that Nigeria needs to spend money on, and that Labour should calm down and accept what they have proposed. And apart from just the minimum wage, the 62,000 naira, that they have other incentives in place that they intend to put in place for Nigerians to reduce and ease the pain of what Nigerians have been going through. So,
well, that's okay. That's it's good to know that there are things they still want to do apart from the minimum wage payment. But then, what would it all become at the end of the day? All those things that will be added and done, would it make it get up to 100,000? Because no matter what, even if you want to do everything, if at the end of the day, those things you do will not help take away what they would have spent on transport, what they would have spent on house rent, what they would have spent on hospital bills, what they would have spent on going to the market to get things, you have not done anything. So whatever happens, let them not forget that this is important. By the way, whatever the president thinks he will do, no matter how soon that soon may be, it will have to wait until the National Assembly returns from its recess. That's one thing. And so for us to think, well, I would say, I would join people who said, let's keep our fingers crossed. But these fingers, how long would they be crossed? Getting to have these things given to, I mean, if there had been a little shift, for as far as I know, it would have made better sense, but it's still the same thing that they are standing on at 62. That's why Labour has said, don't take anything to the National Assembly without getting us into it. If we are not sure of what you're sending in there, we are not going to be part of it. This is a country where we have the leaders and the led. So if the leaders will want to do things just by themselves alone, it may not work out well, because the led can decide to pull something that will cause problems somewhere. And we don't need all that in this country today. Let's think of how to perfect it. Let the labor. I know that even the leader of TUC has said that it may not just remain that at that 250 that they said. But then, just as one side has shifted itself, let the other side also shift. Let it be seen that there are two sides discussing, two sides of the coin, two sides in this thing we are talking about today. Not just letting it be that it must be that which they have stamped it at. It's not that definitely is not right. So whatever they want to do, let there be an agreement. Let there be a center point where they can agree to do whatever.
Okay, so the other aspect I want us to look at concerning this federal government and labor issue is this aspect of the fact that, according to the federal government, that increasing this wage beyond 65,000 is going to like cause inflation.
It's not true.
Yes, maybe so, but we are already as at today. The level of inflation in Nigeria is recorded 33.95.
Of course, yes.
And accordingly, for the past, this has been like, for the past 17 months, it's been like, there's been an increase.
This is the headline inflation.
Exactly.
Currently.
And this is the height of it all. We have never had it this bad. Okay, so my question is, if we are saying that it is the minimum wage that is going to cost, the inflation is already there, all right? Yes. So meaning it's not just going to be driven by the minimum wage. Probably, I'm not an expert in this area, but maybe, or rather perhaps, when this increment comes, the increased minimum wage to maybe 80, 100 or whatever, probably the inflation is going to get even higher than what we are facing, what we are experiencing right now. I think
the proponent of this argument, what they are banding around is that no matter what you arrive at, there is inflation already in the land. And the headline inflation now is 33.9%, like you rightly mentioned.
Yes.
No matter how much you add, whether it is 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira, there is going to be rippling effects on other commodities. So long as you have not fixed the productive sector. It is when you fix the productive sector that you become productive rather than consumptive, that you now match up the inflation, or you tackle the inflation that is rising. So long as industries are leaving the country, they are shutting down, SMEs cannot function, there's no electricity, all those basic things that makes a business attractive, attracting foreign direct investments, if they are lacking, there will be inflation. And then these things, you have not put them in place and you want to jack up, minimum wage. What the proponents of that argument are saying is that it's going to have rippling effects.
It will.
Transportation will increase. The cost of food that all of us are complaining about will shoot through the roof. That is exactly what.
The cost
where is the CNG powered vehicles? Are we being told that will happen soon? So you see, when you talk about this soon, how soon is the soon we are listening to? We've not seen those vehicles. Where are the vehicles that are supposed to have been on the road everywhere to ease the pain of the workers and everybody concerning transport. We are yet to see them.
Actually, a year later,
And
I
it's more than a year now.
Yeah.
We are yet
Yeah.
to see them.
You're right.
The speed with which the subsidy was removed would have
one would have thought that
made
these
it
things were
happen
already
fast.
Yeah.
But we have not seen it. Some people are saying return the subsidy. If you can't get those ones done, please return it and let's continue. Let's start again from there, because there is trouble already. And just like you said, just as you said, you find out that when this money is paid eventually, definitely there is problem as far as the economy is concerned and the inflationary trends are concerned. But we'll still have more. We'll still have more.
Yes.
Do you know that it will get to a point that people will not even have what to eat? Because right now it's happening.
It will get to a point. That's where we are right now.
Because I remember some people, some traders were saying that so they see people who come to them to beg for gari, to beg for any of these small things so that they can feed.
Okay.
I wonder where we'll go by that time.
You're
That's
talking
what
about
comes.
feeding generated by Nigerians. You know, there's something that worries me. I hear people talk about. Elizabeth mentioned earlier the figure, the percentage of workers, which we arrive at to 5.3 million. You know, Nigerians are captured in the formal sector as workers.
Yeah.
Labor is talking about a threshold of 6 families in their demand. Some Nigerians are talking about there are not more than 5.3 million people. You know, and the argument is fixated. It's coming with a fixated mindset that labor is only. They forget their dependents. They forget the threshold.
They
labor
have
is talking
families.
about their families.
Right.
There are people that work in Abuja. People back home depend on them.
Yes, of course.
You know, immediate and extended family.
You know, as blacks, yes, we are dependent on our family.
Yes, we are communal by nature.
We have in a family there could be just one person that is a breadwinner, but that probably have a good stable source of income.
Yes,
and in this part of the world,
such a person.
Yeah, and in this part of the world, we expect that person to be the one that fed, not just for his immediate family, even for his extended family back at home.
Let me even add.
Sorry,
when we talk about
I want to remind our viewers that it is a phone-in program call so that you can participate by making your opinion known to Nigerians.
Okay.
The government is hearing you. Go ahead.
We have not forgotten the fact that there are workers that are not seen or known. That's talking about the ghost workers. And sometime in the past, the state governors were saying they will not be able to handle what we're even talking about right now. And a few days back, a former governor said, let this thing be decentralized. Let each state think of what to do. And I'll ask, some of these states that are even shouting that they won't pay, how many people are they? What is the workforce in those states? Not to talk about, when you talk about a state that has very few people working, and they will beef it up with ghost workers, and they'll say they can't pay. Let's be honest with ourselves and get the people who are true workers, let them be the ones that will be paid. If this happens, that the true workers are seen and they are the ones to be paid, this wouldn't be a problem. But the fact is that there are so many people who are not non-existent. Some people are still paying salaries to some dead fellows, people who died years back. They are still paying salaries to them. Some people are still paying salaries to some people who have been sacked from service, who are no longer there. They're still collecting the salaries for these people. There are so many other phony things you see happen. At the end of the day,
Hold on your thoughts,
talk about the
Let's
money.
answer this call. Hello. Good evening. You are welcome to Matters Arising.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ahmed Bima. I'm calling from Niger State, Mina.
Ahmed, you're welcome.
Yeah, honestly, about the pressure between labor and federal government.
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead, Ahmed. Ahmed, you're on. We can hear you. Ahmed, go ahead.
I think it's this.
Okay, continue.
So when we clear these things, and this is not what you just wake up overnight and do. or plan and sort them out effectively, then you know exactly the number of people that will be paid. Not just getting to make it something that is so high and so huge, and then you say, oh, we can't handle this. We need to get them handled, because this is, I would always want to refer to as this group you're talking about. They are the hens that will lay the egg that everyone else will eat. If not for the work the labor is doing,
okay, hold
how
on.
would we have the economy in the
Okay,
first
we have
place?
this caller. Hello, good evening. You're on to Matters Arising. Oh, we have lost that caller. The line seems to be...
You see, just like...
Hello? Hold on, please. Hello? Hello, you're on to Matters Arising. You're welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, my brother. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Ijoye Bernard. I'm calling from Warri.
Ibrahim?
Ijoye Bernard from
Bernard from Warri.
That's why.
Yes.
Okay, you're on. Please,
Yeah.
make your comments.
My comment is, you see, even in economics, where there's too much money in circulation, it will lead to inflation.
Okay.
Yes. So, if the federal government begin to pay that money, it leads to more of inflation. It's very clear. It's very glaring. Yes, it will lead to more of inflation. And if that, kind of happens, there will be inflation explosion.
Okay.
And to caution this thing, I think I want to advise the government. They should look for a way to bring down this price of this fuel. Fuel, so that there will be a lot of fuel, so that, because if you could remember when NNPC was functioning, there was money like bunkering. There were some things that were not, there were things that didn't come up, like bunkering and all that. So they should go back to that kind of status quo, then work on, leakages in NNPC and all that, so that, people will not be stealing money and all that, So that is just it. They should make fuel available for people to use, so that, it will help a lot. It will kind of, help the people.
Okay.
That is just my take.
Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Bernard, for calling from Warri. Bernard is talking about, he is providing solutions, just in addition to what we've been talking about.
Well,
yes, talking about revamping our refineries to make the product available across the country, and it will be cheaper.
Well, gas, diesel.
When you have that in place, you also need to have good roads to carry them, because we are still doing it by road. And you also need to have security. Incidentally, insecurity will still continue until we have food security.
Right.
Okay.
Because if not, the man at home, the man that is planning, have they not said that the idle mind is the devil's workshop? So the man that is sitting at home and thinking of, what do I do? There is no money, there is no food, nothing. And I have my family. What do I do? He will be forced to go out to look for it by fair means or foul.
Yeah.
And if he happens to be foul, anything can happen.
Yeah, that's a very
So that's one thing we need to consider. Even as we're doing all this, may the government take a holistic look at these things and clear it once and for all. Not just talk about money, money, money. What about the things that will make that money work for you? How many hospitals do we still have around us? I don't know if you have ever visited any hospitals recently, government hospitals. You will pay for everything that will be given to you there. And it's not supposed to be so.
I think the most disconsolate voice against this wage increase is coming from the governors. But what comes to mind also is that, why is their colleague in Edo State, Governor Gaius Obaseki, paying 70,000 naira, and he has made it sustainable in the last 4 months or so, even though some people are saying it's shrouded in politics, that it's on the verge of, in the twilight of his administration. He decided
what people have not, what they have forgotten.
After he's gone, is it going to continue?
But
that's the question.
Yes.
After Obaseki is gone, is going within
he has made it law.
The next 2 or 3 months or so. Is it going to continue?
Any successor is compelled
Yes, because
So it's a
it becomes a
because it is
law.
law.
Remember that when the first increase happened, he was among the first people that did something about it. So it's not just because it's going. It's not just because of all this. I think this is the kind of thing he has gone on to do for the people in his state. It's good. It's good. It's good that other governors should be challenged concerning what he has done. Let them be challenged and do their own. Even if they don't give up to 70 as he has done, let them give 60 or whatever until the final thing happens. It will be good. I assure you that in such a state where workers are well paid, pilfering will be highly reduced because people will say, what am I even looking for? The governor has given me the things I need. He has encouraged me to do my work. So I'll be prepared to work and achieve results. And as it is happening with one, so will it happen with another around him, because they know that when they work to bring in the money, they would also enjoy the money, not just only the governor,
That's true.
not just only the commissioners, but that they themselves who do the work would also benefit from it. So they'll be prepared to bring in more. Let others make up their minds and have the mindset of, let's work. Because when we work, we will see what comes out of it. And we'll be beneficiaries. We will benefit from it. That's the major thing we need to think. And all we've been saying is governmental. What about the people who are in the private sector? We've not even considered the things that will have to do with the payment of workers in the private sector. Some of the private sector workers up to today have not been able to pay that one that is we're talking about removing. So let's think about them too.
In all, I think it's the private sector that I'm really even considering the most. I'm considering them because it costs a lot to produce. The cost of production has skyrocketed with...
And purchasing power has dwindled.
Oh, yes.
Where will you make the money?
It costs so much. They buy the same diesel and fuel that we are talking about, gas. This is what they use in production because there is no light.
And
that's why I keep talking about
the last time we were here,
infrastructure development.
100% agree with Father Mbaka, who suggested that every political officer should subject himself to 62,000 naira from the president to the lowest.
Well, like I had said.
You know, that day I said it was funny. I said it was comical. But I think I'm making a U-turn.
Like I had said, even if it doesn't necessarily have to be that 62,000
but something reduced
at least
from
they
there.
should. Yes.
I know our colleague John said it was metaphorical. You know, that is called, though, to show how unhappy he is, that if you are disagreeing with the demands of labor, you are up there enjoying. Nobody is, you know, interrogating what you are collecting. Hold on your thoughts, Elizabeth. We have a caller. Hello? Good evening. You are on to Matters Arising.
Good evening, sir. This is Emmanuel from Kaduna.
Emmanuel from Kaduna, you are welcome. Go on with your comments.
What I have to say concerning this labor issue is that there is nothing like inflation.
Okay.
You remember recently the judiciary, their salary were increased.
300%.
Okay. The House of Assembly, the House of Senate, the governors and the president, they also have their salary review. So those ones, they are not bringing inflation. My point here, sir, is that this country, they know what to do. We are just beating here. They know, they have the experts on economy. They know what to do to fix this country in order. Let them just do it. What we are talking here can't solve it. You remember before the election, they said that our refinery will be fixed before December last year. Up till now, none of the refineries is working. Sir, who are we deceiving in the country? Are we together?
We're together.
Yes, we are.
Go on.
We are not helping ourselves. Let's tell ourselves the truth. And we are pushing the masses to the wall. And very soon, if there's no taking, the masses are going to respond. This is not good for this country, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
God bless all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You know, Elizabeth Okechukwu, the three of us chuckled when Emmanuel from Kaduna, the last caller, they mentioned that judiciary got a 300% increase. The Senate, House of Rep, the presidency got it, and it did not affect inflation.
And
it did
the
not
vice
cause inflation.
president's
We had to laugh over it because
apartment was
and then the last thing he said was,
renovated.
to me, it's very, very scary that masses are going to revolt. It is indeed scary. You mentioned...
It is scary. Let me take it up. Let me take it up
Please,
from
before
where...
you take it up, I want to say that this judiciary you're talking about, it's not the civil servants, so it's not these workers, it's not the normal workers in the judiciary. It's just these judges. Let's not forget that. So when you say judiciary, it's just for judges and such people. The others are still civil servants that are thinking of how to get their pay. Please continue.
Okay, Elizabeth, continue.
Yeah, so the people, the toll at which this inflation, this poverty is taking on the people is much. Lately, do you have an idea of house rent? Do you know that rents have been increased?
Yes,
Of course, all over, all across.
Even the fact that the building materials have
it affects everything.
Yeah, though even the houses that are old, that have been built for years, that haven't just been built, the landlords are increasing rents. They will tell you,
advantage of that situation.
Yes. What do you want? These are the same people we are talking.
Hold on, Elizabeth. Hold on your thoughts. Let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. You're welcome to Matters Arising.
Yes, good evening, my brothers.
Thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling from and make your comments.
My name is Famous and I'm calling right away from Suleja.
Okay, Famous. What do you have to say?
Yeah. My question is this. If the federal government knew very well that the minimum wage increase will not be more than the 35,000 naira wage award that was given to all workers, why would they give that 35,000 naira and later promise to give living wage and end up giving less than what they have given to Nigerians to test? If the government could have given the 35,000 naira as addition to the 30,000 naira minimum wage that was on ground, it would have made millions to Nigerians. Edo State government is paying 70,000 naira minimum wage.
Yes.
River State is ready to pay more than that. Lagos State as well. And every other state has capacity to pay beyond 70,000 naira. Unfortunately, the led government, the federal government, is the one now bargaining and saying they cannot pay less than 62,000 naira. Is it not alarming? The 35,000 naira that have been converted as the minimum wage, that is the only thing they can add to the present 30,000 naira. Then Nigeria would have just gone with that. They stopped paying the 35,000 naira, and after about 3 or 4 months, they now say they are adding 32,000 to the earlier 30,000 naira. I want to suggest that the federal government should have a rethink.
Okay, thank you, Famous.
And probably make it up to that 70, or at least let it not be less than what they have given to us earlier.
Okay.
That's my submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Famous from Suleja. Okay, Chukwu Elizabeth, I think Famous from Suleja has set the ball rolling. And he did say Obaseki, the governor of Edo State, has sort of created a template. He's urging the federal government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do same by adopting 70,000 naira. We're going to analyze that, but that will be after this short break. Please, viewers, stay with us. We'll be right back. Remember to call this line so that you can participate and to make the program more conversational. Thank you. Welcome back to Matters Arising. Viewers are encouraged to share their perspective on the program by calling the number on your screen.
Yeah.
So
like I was saying, it's alarming the rate at which the rents have been increased. And funny enough, most of the landlords, if by any means or you are privileged to meet any of them, they will tell you that it's actually not even them. It is their agents that advise them to increase these rents so that their agency fee can be more.
Elizabeth, forget about agents. They're all
Nigerians.
They're all Nigerians. It's just the corruption.
Commit suicide. You go and commit suicide.
That's
it doesn't make sense. That's just what they are.
It doesn't make sense.
Of saying.
They work together.
Ask him to.
Look, if you have a house,
but I'm just trying to tell you what's going on.
No, we know what's going on. Nigerians, if you have a house, will you rely on your agent to keep deceiving you?
But even then, we want to collect more.
No,
that's on the side of the agent. Then earlier you mentioned something about insecurity that is causing this poor security for real. If this is insecurity thing has to be taken care of, because if not, farmers cannot farm. They are afraid. They go to farm, they are slaughtered, they are killed. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We have a caller. Hello? Hello, good evening. Your own tomatoes are rising. We've lost the caller. Continue.
So
insecurity. I'm talking about insecurity.
Food, yes, food insecurity all over. Benue that produce known for yams, they don't have yams this year. Have you bought a tuber of yam lately? Have you?
I eat yam every day.
A tuber of yam, the smallest, is about between 2,750 and 3,000 naira for one tuber of yam. How many people can afford that? How much are they being paid? It's Salah, all right? And we all know that this is the Salah that rams are bought. Did you know how much rams were sold this season?
Okechukwu tell you his encounter.
One got to as high as I saw, not that they told me. I saw.
Right.
I saw rams that went for 1 million naira. 1 million naira. I've never had such a thing in my life. And I was wondering how much we now buy cows.
But you know, it interests you to know that all these complaints that we are making, there are people that bought rams of 1 million naira and they bought trailers.
Yes.
You are correct.
Oh, yes. Sure.
They are not complaining.
Yes.
Do you want to know the people?
And that is not their problem.
Do you want to know
and that is not their problem, but the ones that are complaining is the ordinary man.
There are Nigerians that are wealthy. Nigerians are wealthy beyond measure.
Yes.
What to do with the money?
They don't even know.
They don't know.
Right.
Let's take this caller, please. Hello. Good evening. You're welcome to Masters Rising. Hello, you're on.
Hello.
You're on.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. You're welcome to Matters Arising. Tell us your name.
I'm now with you.
Okay, sir.
I'm calling from Kwara State.
Okay, your name?
My name is Feda Ogbonyomi.
Okay, you're on, sir.
Please, let us be frank to ourselves. We are deceiving ourselves. We Nigerians, we are deceiving ourselves. Now, let us come back to minimum wage. The senators, the House of Reps, what they got in a month is civil servant can never get it in 35 years. Now, let's leave that apart. Now, we are now saying of increase to 65 to 80 to this. The increase has not even come to pass. And now, we are buying a single tomatoes at the rate of 20, calculated tomatoes at the rate of 30, 32 naira per seed. And we are still in Nigeria.
It's saying the truth.
The increase of salary increases over 5 years now. 5 years and some months.
Okay.
Does it mean that because of the labor union are fighting for the minimum wage, that's what everything increased? To buy okra in the market now, you buy okra of 500 naira, it's not enough for you. No, please. Let us be our ogas. Let us say our ogas, but we put them there. But now they felt that they are now all and all. Let us, please, beg them that they should fear God, not
Thank you.
we.
Thank you, Abayomi.
We posted them there.
Thank you, Abayomi.
Please.
Thank you, Abayomi from Kwara.
Does it not amaze you that men know the prices of goods in the market now? Why? Because it got to a point they were bringing the money what they could, giving their wives to go to the market, and the wives they come back and say, that I can't get it, I couldn't get up to that, or the soup is smaller, the stew is smaller. So it got to a point. I was in the market last week and last weekend, I guess, and there was this man. We were about to pay for what we had bought, and it was a man, and it was like, what I do this period, as whether in the supermarket, departmental store, wherever, because before I would buy and they would just accumulate, my price, and I would just pay. But now, when they are being scanned, I ask, please, each item, tell me how much it is, so that I will know, to what percentage of increment
what you have.
Exactly. So I was doing that, and the man was behind me, was smiling, and said, please do, So he was like, yes, because even him, that he there's a favorite he has. He told his wife to prepare for him, and the wife kept coming back and saying that the money wasn't enough for her to get, the ingredients to get that thing prepared. So that he had to come by himself to the market to see, and he said, and he has seen. Now he knows what she's talking about, and I just smiled. So men know what it is, the prices of goods and commodities now in the market. Go ahead.
Hello, good evening. You're on to Matters Arising. Hello, good evening. You're welcome to Matters Arising. He's not there. Now, let's move on to our next topic of the night. One of the three arms of government in Nigeria is the legislature. It is bicameral in nature, with two independent chambers. The Senate comprises 109 senators, and the House of Representatives has 360 members. Known as the 10th Assembly, members of the two chambers were inaugurated on the 13th day of June 2023. How have they fared collectively and perhaps individually representing their various constituents? Now, Elizabeth Okechukwu, we have been appraising the government, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 1 year in office has come under scrutiny by the media and Nigerians. And many people have not taken the time to take a cursory look at, the performance of our senators and the House of Representatives, individually and collectively. But I must say to you that I'm pleased in 1 year, the Senate sponsored 279 bills between July, when they came in 2023, to date. But 24 senators have not passed any bill yet.
My problem is not with the 24 that have not passed any bills. My problem is with the ones that have passed the bills. Those bills they have passed, what effect have they had on the people?
We have the appropriation bill, although it's an executive bill. We have NDDC Act. We have the Nigerian Army Act.
Then the spillage something, the one that...
Yes, oil spillage.
That's about the only one, to me, as a human being, that I've seen that has a human face. The other ones, even that, they haven't started doing anything about it. So don't blame the 24 that have not come. They are latecomers. They are the people that will still bring up their own later. But what I'm saying is, please, in that National Assembly, whatever bill you want to pass, let it make meaning to the people, not just only to the highly placed and all. What we're looking for now is what you will do that will help that the roads will be put in order. Do you have a caller?
Yeah, we have a caller. We lost him earlier because I was allowing you to keep talking. He called back. You're on to Matters Arising?
Yes, this is from...
What's your name, please? Henry, we can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Okay, are you hearing me now?
We can hear you. Mention your name and where you're calling from.
The issue...
What's your name?
The issue in this country, the economic problems in this nation did not start from today. It didn't start today. It has been long. These are accumulated issues that our leaders in this country failed to address properly. The gap between the rich and the poor has become so divergent.
Okay.
that it will be very difficult to cover that gap. Without good economic resolutions, and the question is, are we actually interested to ensure that the poor masses don't suffer beyond this level? We are talking of economic restructuring. How do we restructure the economy? When the National Assembly, the senators, their salaries are still very fat. The executives, their salaries are still very fat. What exactly has the government done to alleviate the sufferings of the poor masses? With all these palliatives, the palliatives are then exercised, distributed only to those who voted them in power, and that is all.
Okay.
While other people who come from other parties remain adamant.
Okay.
Nothing is being given to them.
Okay.
I was a living witness where palliative was distributed. Almost 200 people did not get anything. I began to wonder, the palliatives are then meant for who?
Okay.
Is that how to solve the economic situation in this problem? Look at the high cost of foodstuffs. Look at agricultural products. How do you produce when there is no security? Farmers are being killed in their farms.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Literally here and there. And nothing is being done.
Thanks for calling, sir.
Where are we going?
Ask him where he's
from
calling
here?
No, I will.
This is the question. Let us be sincere to ourselves.
Okay, what's your name, sir, and where did you call from?
I am calling from Suleja,
What's your name?
Niger State.
Your name?
That's where I'm calling from.
Your name, sir?
Okay, what of...
Okay, thank
Hello?
you.
Your name?
Are you hearing me?
Your name, sir. Your name. We can hear you loud and clear.
Hello?
Thank you, sir. It's all right. Thank you. Thanks for
What are
calling.
the traveling expenses?
Traveling expenses. Thank you, sir. Thanks for
Of our
calling.
politicians.
Okay.
You have made your point, sir. Thanks for calling.
During political campaign now,
Yes.
during political campaign, you see politicians filing common ticket for election up to millions upon millions of naira. Where do they get this money from? And their relatives are suffering in the rural area.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
No, you can hear the despondency of
The
Nigerians.
relatives suffering. That's what we've been trying to say here. The relatives will suffer while they themselves keep enjoying.
It's a
And there was
reflection.
something you mentioned that has to do with, you see, there is an elimination, as though it's a plan to eliminate the middle class.
It's not even just the relatives
when you do
that
not
are
when you do
suffering.
not
All their
have the
followers
middle class,
and
then
supporters.
there is going to be serious problem in that economy.
Yeah.
You have just the big men,
Right.
and
They ensure
and
that their
the
followers
followers
you know?
are suffering so that they can bust over them.
Exactly.
Yes, at
And it's
every given point
It's
in
quite
time.
a shame we're at that. Okay, returning to this fellow,
yes.
the
National
Assembly
Assembly,
thing. Yeah, it's a good thing they have stayed there for 1 year. So at least, even if at the earlier stage it looked as though they didn't know exactly what was happening, they have understood the process, and so they are going on. My plea is, whatever it is they are doing, let them do what will affect the people. That's the most important thing.
Now you
The
are talking.
people-oriented
That's my point.
bills are the major things to be passed. Can't we do something that has to do with these bad roads and to put them in order once and for all? And again, there are railway lines we're talking about. Hasn't it got to the level that these vehicles, like haulage vehicles that have been spoiling most of the roads, should be moved into the railway thing, so that we have few? Okay.
So we have a caller.
Okay. So, all right.
We lost the caller. Go ahead.
Okay, so as for me, celebrating 1 year in office, 10th national.
We're not celebrating them. We're appraising.
Right. No, they are celebrating.
celebrating.
They didn't celebrate. we are appraising them.
Right. As far as they haven't, due to all that has been going on, all this inflation, and by the way, today, when this inflation...
We have a caller.
All right.
Hello, good evening. Your own two matters are rising. Hello, you're welcome to Matters Are Rising.
Good evening, how are you?
Good evening. I'm fine, sir. We are fine in the studios. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Dambaba is my name.
Okay, Dambaba, you're welcome. Make your contribution.
Is my name. Dambaba is my name.
From where, Dambaba? From where?
From Bauchi.
Okay,
Bauchi State.
Make your contribution quickly.
Bauchi State.
Yes, we can hear you. Make your contribution quickly.
My contribution is the 10th National Assembly. The 10th Assembly is just padding.
Okay.
Padding.
What are they padding?
Padding the case of Abdul Lingi and his suspension from the National Assembly.
Okay. That case that resulted in the suspension?
The suspension from National Assembly because of the yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dambaba from Bauchi.
So, very
He
quickly.
said the National Assembly is just accusing about padding and padding
Yes.
and padding.
Yes.
Just like I was saying, when the 33.95 inflation rate was announced, the spokesperson to the president, Bayo Adenuga, right?
Yeah.
Ononuga, rather.
Ononuga,
Bayo
yeah.
Ononuga
Bayo
said
Ononuga.
that, yes, that they met a dead economy. All right?
Yes.
They met a dead economy. How, until the National Assembly begins to think of how to cut down their salaries and their luxurious incentives, and look into this Nigerian constitution that has been doing a lot of havoc to the people, and begin to really represent the people that they are meant, the way they are meant to, then I don't see anything that I will say, okay, this is it that they have done, until they begin to work on that.
I would say that there is one thing that has become very clear and outstanding. Everybody will remember this 10th Assembly for, and that is the speedy manner with which the national anthem was altered, was changed.
Right.
That's one outstanding thing, that in one day,
they will never be forgotten for that.
The upper house did it, and then the second day, the other one added.
Yes, they will never be forgotten for that.
That's the fastest.
As we wind down, the three of us are going to have parting shots in matters of seconds. My parting shot is that there are 13 ex-governors in the Senate, and governors are being accused of making it their retirement home of sorts. And out of the 13, only 9 passed a bill in the last 1 year. Passing shots.
Oh,
well, like he has earlier said, even the ones that have not been able to pass anything, what difference does it make?
Okay.
Whatever you do, remember, people are seeing it. And as simple as it may sound, the good you do remains, and the evil gets rewarded somehow. Let's let it be that way, and pray that God will help the leaders to remember the led. Thank you.
Well, that's how we wrap up Matters Arising tonight. We thank our viewers for being a part of the conversation, especially Ahmed from Minada called, Bernard from Wari, Imar Kaduna, and Famous from Suleja Abayomi, who called from Kwara, and Dambaba, who also called in from Bachi, our last caller. Let's do this again on KAFTAN TV from Abuja Studios next time. On behalf of our producer, Ruben Okala, and the entire production team that made, my name is Maucauley Hunohashi, saying bye-bye for now, and do have a beautiful night rest.
And my name is Elizabeth Sam-Sedi. I'm saying good night from all of us here in the studio.
I am Okechukwu. Thank you for watching.
And as we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
Good night.
Good night.